Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast, featuring Commissioner Christine King, where all voices are heard.
Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast, where all voices are heard. I am your host, Commissioner Christine King, from the beautiful city of Miami, District 5, and I'm also the chairwoman of the City of Miami Commission. Today, I have with me as guests my Sergeant at Arms. They are Miami's finest from the police department, and they are here to share their story on how they rose through the ranks from beat cop to Sergeant at Arms. Welcome. Would you tell our listeners and our viewing audience your name and your rank in the department?
Good morning. Yes, it's Omar Ayala. My rank is Sergeant at Arms.
Edson Abbott, Sergeant at Arms.
Hey, guys.
Hello. Good morning.
Okay, so I have worked with these guys since I got elected. They are charged with keeping elected officials safe. They have the same training as the men and women who protect the President of the United States, which is a very specialized training, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
And what does that entail?
It entails dignitary training, vehicle ops, firearms training, personal protection.
Okay, but you didn't start there. So kind of share with me, how did you get into being a police officer? What made you want to be a police officer? I understand from both of you, you're from the streets.
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Something like that.
was born in D5, raised in D5,
What part of D5?
Overtown, right outside where we're filming at right now.
Okay,
That's
so
where I was born.
you've seen a lot in your storied career as a child growing up in Overtown at a time when it was a little tough in the streets. What drove you to becoming a police officer?
Well, my first pick wasn't to be a police officer. I wanted to be a firefighter.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. The firefighters are going to get you, the police officers are going to get you when they see this.
So I initially wanted to be a firefighter. And through my 5 tries of trying to be a firefighter, failed attempts. And I was like, okay, let me try another way and become a police officer, right? So it's public servant. So I figured it was in the same field, but different, but same field. Public servant, you know. So I put in to become a police. And when I started, when I went into the academy, it was just, when I applied to be a police officer, it was just like, I'm doing it just to be, I'm just doing it, right? Because my end goal is to become police and transfer over to be a firefighter. And once I started going through the process, I was like, okay, I took the physical, I passed that. I didn't have a problem with passing the physical. I didn't worry about that. Then it was like the polygraph. When I passed the polygraph, I was like, uh-oh, I'm getting close. Then I took the psychological, so I was like, uh-oh, they finna let me in the door. And I got offered, I got conditioned to hire, so I was like, okay, cool. And then I started the academy. And that's when I started saying, uh-oh, I don't know about no firefighter. I'm falling in love with being a police and what the police entails. And I went through the academy, came out and started working the streets. And I fell in love with being a police. So no, fire it's not even in my radar anymore.
Omar?
So I was born in Puerto Rico, but I lived in D5. I grew up in D5. I went to school right across the street, actually, at Booker T. There was a police officer in my neighborhood by the name of Willie Bell, and he was kind of like the shaft of our neighborhood. And he saw something in me, I guess, and he was just like, hey, you need to be a cop. Stop hanging around these knuckleheads. And so I applied, went through the process just like he did. Once I got on, right after the academy, they put you through a program called Value Driven. Value Driven. And there was he was an officer at the time. He's actually a major with us now. His name's Al Guerra. He was a SWAT operator at the time. And yeah, he is a good guy. And, he was in charge of our physical training and, little tactical stuff that they were teaching us as you came on. And I thought we had built rapport during those 2 weeks. And at the end of the session that day, I called him a SWAT boy during some pull-ups. And he took me into the SWAT locker room. And, these guys are all jocks. And they were like, oh, oh, you want to be a SWAT guy? I was like, no, I don't want to be a SWAT. I didn't want to be a SWAT guy. I had a little chip on my shoulder. But that motivated me to actually want to become a SWAT guy. So I ended up joining the SWAT team 2 years after that because I tried out the first time. I didn't make it. I wasn't selected. I made everything. I passed all their physical agility. I just didn't make the cut. Wasn't selected. So I came back the second year, was selected. And I'm not going to lie, like I said, I had a chip on my shoulder. So my original goal was to pass the SWAT school. And, the hood of me was like, oh, here's your pen. I told you I could do it. But when you go through those 3 weeks, you learn so much about yourself, how to overcome fears that you never even knew you had. Like I never thought I was afraid of heights until they took me to the fire college and made me jump into an airbag from the 5th story floor, so. So yeah, so I did SWAT. Then him and I joined a unit called Tactical Robbery Unit that was implemented by, was that Chief Exposito in Sigley?
Sigley, yes.
And Tactical Robbery was a unit that basically went after the worst of the worst in the city. I'm talking about murderers, rapists, kidnappers. It was a high-risk, high-intensity unit. I had fun times there.
Fun times.
Fun times.
Good times.
Good times. We did that. I did that for about a year, then I left, and I came back. I took a little hiatus. I went back to it because it was just so stressful. It really was stressful, certain things that you saw on that unit.
We consider that, sorry to cut you off. We consider that unit a red line unit where you always redlining, right? So in layman terms, in a vehicle, RPMs, you redline, and when you get into the red, because it's always, I want to say we're targeting. We're
proactively.
Yeah, we're proactively going after the worst of people that we see in people. I won't say the worst people, but the worst things people can do to each other. Those are the people that
Yes.
we're actively engaging on a daily basis. So when you're working 5 days a week, you're looking for what we consider violent offenders.
Right.
So that can play a toll on your everything, mental health, psyche, all that good stuff.
I can tell. Because I've been riding with you guys for a while. I can tell that.
It's important to smile.
But through all of that, all of your experiences, your training, all of the bad stuff that you've seen, there are rewarding moments that you've had as well, right?
Absolutely.
The job in itself is rewarding.
Yes.
To help people is rewarding. That's why we do it. That's why I do it.
Yeah, if you could just change that one person that'll listen to you that is from D5, right? And I don't want to just say D5, the city in itself, right? Because, I worked D5 as well, too, when I was a patrolman. I worked Upper East Side. I didn't work Liberty City that much. They brought me back down to Central, and then I worked the Grove a lot. And you do interact with the youth a lot, and you try to bring kind of like show them a different side of law enforcement, because growing up in D5, I know what it was to feel a certain way towards law enforcement, right? And when you go through the academy, then you understand, I understand why that second police officer pulls up now on a traffic stop. It's not because the officer was scary, like we used to. Well, I'm gonna speak for myself. Like I used to think, like, oh, why he got to call backup? But it's not because he's scary. It's because traffic stops are probably one of the most there's nothing routine about it. It's probably one of the most dangerous things that a police officer can get involved in, because that person in that vehicle, they know who we are, right? We don't know who's in that car. And I mean, things are different now. Now you have all this CAD system. You can run people, run a tag, but still, just because the tag comes back to somebody, that doesn't mean that's necessarily who's driving the vehicle. So we were always taught to, if you're not doing anything, or even if you are and you're nearby and you hear someone take that traffic stop, just go by and make sure they're good, because that's usually where things go haywire.
What's your favorite memory of being an officer?
Oh man.
Favorite memory?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still here, but my favorite memory now is just working with guys like Omar, right? Or just
yeah, it's just the units. It's like they're
just creating memories of high risk situations bring you closer.
Yes.
Right? When you look at each
Absolutely.
other, we just dodged that one, right? Escaped that one, you know. And it just makes you bond. That's why a lot of people say, "Oh, the police, they're so close." Yeah, tragedy will bring you closer.
Yeah,
because we depend on each other. We depend on each other to go home the way we came into work. The way we left home is the way we intend to go back home to our families, to our loved ones, because that's what's most important, right? Family is first, and then so I have to be able to look at his family or our colleagues' family and say, I did all I can to make sure your loved one made it back home to you. And that's what's important.
Yeah, regardless of whatever, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but regardless of, so when I was an instructor in the academy, and you know, I would tell the recruits when I was there, like, we're all gonna have days that we, you know, or that crewmate that just doesn't jive, right? But at the end of the day, whatever our internal issues are, our families don't know that, don't need to know that. We just got to make sure we get each other's back and make sure that person gets home, regardless of whatever the situation may be.
I love that. I never thought of it that way. You have to make sure each other gets home. You got to go home the way you
100%.
Came to work.
And there's been officers that haven't. You know,
right.
There's been officers that haven't gone home at all, or haven't gone home, you know, the same way they came in, all 10 fingers, you know, all limbs, so on and so forth. So.
And Abbott, you were in the K-9 unit as well?
Yeah, so to back up pedal a little bit for my history. So I've been a police officer now 18 years. My hire date was January 26.
Damn, you remember that?
Yes, January 26, 2007. So between that, I did patrol. I started in patrol, and then from patrol, I don't necessarily want to call it, what would we call it if I went to another unit? Transfer?
Yes.
Yes. So I transferred to, at that time, our tactical robbery unit. And then from my tactical robbery unit, I did that for a couple years. And then I transferred to become a K-9 handler, where I did dog detection, K-9 detection, and apprehension. After I then did that for a few years, I transferred to become a robbery investigator. And while I was in robbery investigation, I got detached to the FBI, part of a violent task force. So what that is
the FBI.
Yeah. We call it detach.
You the feds. The ops.
Oh my
No,
God.
the friend. The friend.
The ops.
In my police world, they're the friends.
They're the friends? I see. They're the friends.
Yeah, so I got detached with the FBI, part of their violent task force.
Which is prestigious within itself, right? Because that's
Yes.
very selective for that too.
Right. And then I was selected to become a sergeant at arms by one of your good, what do I want to call him? Your colleague, counterpart in Miami-Dade County,
Yes.
Keon Hardiman.
Mm-hmm.
So I protected him for 6 years.
And he needed protection, huh? Didn't he have a stalker?
Wow. That was before my time, right before my time. But yes, he did.
Because I know there's some that would say that, we don't need sergeant at arms. We don't need.
That is a false statement.
Yeah,
Right, because
It's
there
for
have been
me to be employed.
incidents where commissioners have been stalked, harassed. I know one commissioner, his stalker went to prison, got out, came back, stalked him again, and then ended up killing himself. The stalker did, which is very scary. And I know for my own personal experience, one day I decided I'm going to give my sergeant at arms a day off, and I'm driving myself around. I'm doing everything that I do in the car when you guys are driving me around. I'm answering calls. I was a distracted driver. And as a result of that, I end up driving the wrong way down a one-way street. And yeah, that was really scary. And just trying to figure out where I'm going, people calling me, wanting information,
Right.
stuff's going on, city-related, and that was pretty scary. And so I really appreciate Sergeant at Arms. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. We also exercise together, right?
Yes.
we do.
Although you left me for the marathon. You were supposed to run the marathon with me, although you left me.
No excuses on that.
Okay,
No
but
excuses on
there's
that.
always another time.
So a fun fact, in my opinion, prior to becoming a sergeant at arms, I knew very little of being a sergeant at arms, right? So by my lack of knowledge of sergeant at arms, I thought it was in layman terms what we call a scam position, right? That it'd be like, oh, that ain't nothing. It's just some position, man-made position that they make up to
Hook somebody up.
Yeah, just hook somebody up, right? And then when I became a sergeant at arms, for the electives at the city of Miami, the sergeant at arms position is a necessary position.
It is.
Not because I hold a position, and I've been a sergeant at arms for the past 9 years. Well, almost. April 16th, I became a sergeant at arms. So this April 16th.
So you've been scamming for 9 years.
You want to call it that? But and you would think that the dignitaries, the commissioners, the mayor, the city manager, you would think their job, well, they're considered to be part-time. They're not. You all are actually full-time. You all actually have a full-time job, and not only to protect, but to be your escort as well, because there are situations where the city do get congested, that places it's hard to park, and even we need to expedite some place or get some place without too much friction. The police is necessary, or sergeant at arms is necessary during those times. So, and again, I'll speak for you. The commissioner, she doesn't only work in the office. She's working in the car.
Yes.
So it's not like, oh, I go sit in the car and I'm just riding. No, when she's in the car, she's actually working. What we do? Phone calls, typing up stuff, prepping for the next meeting. So kudos to the commissioner.
100%.
And it's nonstop with her.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, Abbott, I feel sorry for you guys sometimes, because, and I've said that about my staff. Like, my staff, they attend events with me, but not all of them and not every event. So they get a break. But me and the sergeant at arms, I think Abbott counted once, we had like 21 days without a break.
Yeah, I believe it.
That every single day for 21 days, no weekend break, no nothing. We were going.
I mean, as of now, you've probably been at it for the past 11, 12 days straight now.
Right. And Omar, would you say you have a favorite memory of while you've been an officer?
A favorite memory?
Mm-hmm. Is SWAT like the TV?
It could be. I mean, I don't watch any of those SWAT shows. I never even seen the movie SWAT with I think what's his name's in it, Samuel L. Jackson. I haven't seen any of those movies. But SWAT is a special breed. A special breed of. I was never in the military, but most of the guys in there are military, and huge shout out to the military guys. Thank you for their service.
I agree.
Those guys, they bring it. They bring it, and yes, it's just a special breed. You have to have thick skin because the cranks there are on a whole nother level than any other unit I've been in. But yeah, just to touch on the Sergeant of Arms thing real quick, because some people may not know exactly what a Sergeant of Arms is or how it started or what our responsibilities are. So Arthur Teal, who used to be a city commissioner, but he was also a county commissioner.
Yeah, one of the smartest men ever.
Yes, ma'am.
It's very, very smart.
And he worked in D.C. before he came to work in Florida. So he adopted the whole Sergeant of Arms thing from D.C., and he implemented it in the county when he was in the county, and he implemented it in the city. So to your point earlier to needing us, I do think we are a necessity. And again, not just because I'm in the position, I just feel that,
Sure.
especially in today's age where you have social media, you have a lot of hecklers that want to come out, and there's that thin line, right, between the First Amendment and, harassment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we play that pivotal role, where we can use our experience with case law or whatever to, handle the situation accordingly.
And I have had some enthusiastic constituents. I've had some enthusiastic constituents that have needed to be
Escorted.
yes, and again, I think I'll stick with enthusiastic,
That's a good
but
word.
through their enthusiasm, there may have been a threat,
Right.
maybe unintended because of their enthusiasm, but me alone to have to manage that
Right.
may have resulted in an unfortunate situation. So I find you also as a buffer
Right.
to keep both me and the public safe.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely. And, advances, right?
Yes.
Is if your staff gives us enough time, enough notice, depending on the venue, we'll do advances, see if there's a hard room, different routes in and out. Those are key things that we do. Social media, we also scan social media, see who's saying what about you guys, Those are important things that we have to do, not just drive, as some people think that that's all that we do.
Well, that's good to know because I don't look at my social media, so I don't know if anybody is saying bad things about me on social media. My staff manages it, and there's so much that I need to do. I don't have the time to run down the social media rabbit hole.
Got it.
What would you say to encourage any young person that would like to become a police officer? What would you say to them?
Do it. Now, this is by far the most rewarding job. This is by far the best job probably in the world.
I believe so.
I mean, not only because I
And
made
I
a
think-
career of it, but
I think people in D5 and in the hood need to do it a lot more, right? Because we talk about we want change, but change comes from within, and we need to represent our neighborhoods a lot more within the police
Absolutely,
department,
absolutely. And for my listeners and my viewers, D5 comprises of Liberty City, Little Haiti, Overtown, Wynwood, which is
Wynwood.
also Little San Juan, and the Upper East Side. It is the most diverse district in the city of Miami.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we have all walks of life in District 5. And I would like to see, and I know our police department is doing better about recruitment,
Yes.
but I would like to see recruitment in our schools, to get more minorities, because our police department has to look like our community
Absolutely.
to be strong and to really serve.
Absolutely.
So we've gotten to the fun part of my podcast where I ask you questions and you just kind of let me, don't think about it, just tell me. Do you guys have a favorite book?
me, yes. I have two. The Richest Man of Babylon and
I love
Who
that
ate-
book. I read
I
that.
think it's Who Ate the Cheese?
No, Who Moved My Cheese?
Who Ate the Cheese?
No,
Who Moved My Cheese?
That's a good
Yeah.
book.
Okay, Omar.
No Easy Day by a former Navy SEAL. It's a fictional name, but he goes by Mark Owen. And it just talks about, what I liked about it is it's not all guts and glory or anything like that. He talks about how to manage anxiety, right? Reference to PTSD or just getting overwhelmed and just handling what you can in this 3-foot box, 3-foot square in front of you. If you can't touch it, then you can't. Don't worry about it because you can't take care of it. So
Oh,
I always refer to that part of that book. I really like that book.
Okay. Favorite song?
Oh,
Because these guys are my sergeant at arms, they know I love music, and we listen to so much music. Abbott listens to different music than Omar and I listen to.
All genres.
We listen to all genres. So if you had to say a favorite song, what would that be?
For me, it's gonna be Frank Sinatra, "Fly Me to the Moon," because that's how I felt when my kids were born. So
Aw.
that's always, every time I hear that song, it
Nice.
just that's my jam.
Okay, Abbott.
I don't know if I have a favorite song. First song came to my head was Tupac, "Picture Me Rolling."
Okay, so let me
But my
shed
favorite
some
artist-
light.
Can I say artist?
No song, but let me shed some light because Omar bust out with Frank Sinatra, but we listen to Anderson .Paak like
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's
mad.
my guy
We
too.
mad
Yes,
listen to Anderson
yes,
.Paak
yes,
all the
yes,
time when we're
yes.
in the car. We
Yes.
love Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah, that's my guy too, man.
We love Kendrick Lamar.
I was
Abbott
gonna
and
say
I
something.
listen to a lot of 80s, 90s rock.
We do.
I mean,
We
this
do.
guy listens to Bruce Springsteen.
Dude,
and-
but but when I'm thinking favorite, my artists, I'm thinking 50 Cent and Chris
Oh yeah,
Brown.
that's your guy.
Those
I
my
love Chris
guys.
Brown. I want to see Chris
But I
Brown
mean,
in concert. I
those
miss
my
his.
guys, but-
I hope he comes back to the U.S. I want to see him. Love his. I love the way he dances. But we have karaoke in the car all the time. When I'm in the car with them, we have karaoke in the car. Okay, if you could have dinner with anybody, living or dead, who would you have dinner with? Who would you want to break bread with?
My deceased wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to
Don't
have a
make me
conversation.
cry.
No, there ain't no conversation. We have one more conversation.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, that's tough. How do you follow up on that?
I thought you would say your mom and dad.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know how you can't follow that up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. If you could tell your younger self, if you could give your younger self some advice, what would it be?
Save your money and buy up all the property in D5. Cause boy,
That's true.
boy,
Yeah, definitely save
you
some
might not be a
money.
police today.
Definitely save money. Save money. Be wiser with the financial decisions.
Okay.
When you walking around here seeing what it was. So I'm 48 years old. Been in D5 48 years.
You old,
Nah, I ain't
bro.
been in D5 48. My mom's still here in D5. My family's still here in Overtown. And if I know what I knew, if I know what I know if I know what I know now then,
Yeah, you got it.
oh my goodness. No Jordans, no jeans,
None of
just
that.
save my
no
money.
Jabos either?
None.
Oh, man.
No
I don't
Sean
know.
Johns, nothing.
Oh, I don't know. Now you talking crazy.
No, hey, we're gonna buy the property, then we're gonna have all that now.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
Okay. Well, I have so enjoyed having you guys as a guest on the Kingdom Podcast. I love you guys. I love being with you guys.
Love you too.
I love spending my days with you guys. You guys are my family forever now.
Appreciate that.
And everyone, I want you to know that these are some great guys. And if there's anyone interested, any young person listening or watching this, and you're interested in being a police officer, I can guarantee you that you could get in touch with these two guys and they will steer you in the right direction. They will guide you. They will share more of their stories with you. They didn't share some of their famous catches, some of their on the run and
Oh.
catching people, but we're running out of time.
Yes.
Again, thank you for joining me on another episode of the Kingdom Podcast, where all voices are heard.